Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today, an event that I was definitely most interested in, went live in the Armory. And that event is the Salvage for Victory event. This is the third one, I do believe. The first one was for the Kitakami and the defense, and something else was tossed in there as well. Then the second one, if I'm remembering correctly, was for the La Pampa, the Tier 9 Pan American Destroyer. But anyway, the way these Salvage for Victory events work is that you exchange a variety of resources to work your way up through a series of rewards. Like I mentioned with the Kitakami, you got, I think it was like a Tier 8 premium cruiser. You got the defense, which is a Tier 10 premium ship. Well, now it is a coal ship. And then finally you got the Kitakami at the end of that sequence. So the general idea is that, you know, the more veteran players, the players that have been around for a long time, and maybe, you know, they've got all they really want to get with their resources, so they've just kind of been, you know, stockpiling up for the past forever, they can throw their excess of resources at these events and get these ships. Now, for this Salvage for Victory event, the crown jewel is the new Tier 9 premium Polish destroyer, the Błyskawica 52, the third Błyskawica clone that we have in the game. Except this one is quite good from what I've seen on paper. And I was looking forward to maybe getting it in the Salvage for Victory event because I have an overabundance, like I'm sure many of you do as well, a tremendous overabundance of coal. Like, I am currently sitting on 1.4 million coal. It's been a bit since we've got a completely new coal ship or really have had anything to do with all of this coal, so I'm sitting on a mountain of it. So I was planning on throwing a decent bit of coal at this event and, you know, maybe throwing in some other resources to get the Błyskawica 52. And I do like the Błyskawica. I haven't played much of the Błyskawica 44 yet. Actually, I don't even know if I even have the Błyskawica 44. But anyway, so when this event went live today, I was very surprised at the state it's in. Because unlike previous Salvage for Victory events where you could use, pretty much any and all resources you had at your disposal, I believe the Kitakami, for example, you could use Commander XP, Free XP, Research Bureau points, Premium Time, Steel, Coal, and just outright doubloons. This go round for the Błyskawica, you can use Research Bureau points, Premium Time, Commander XP, and, of course, steel. Now, the way that this event works, too, is that, in some cases, some resources can only be used up to a certain point. Like Premium Time, you can only get 30% of the Błyskawica Salvage for Victory event done with Premium Time, and then another 30% done with Elite Commander XP. So if you do have a bunch of Premium Time sitting around that you're not planning on using, and you do have a ton of Elite Commander XP that for some reason you're not planning on using, at best you can get to the 60% mark, which will put you just 25% shy of getting the Błyskawica 52, because you only have to get the bar to 85% in order to obtain the Błyskawica 52. So in order to complete the grind, you will have to use Research Bureau points and or steel. One is a resource, one of the few resources that hasn't been the subject to inflation, like coal. The other is one of the grindiest resources in game to obtain. In order to get Research Bureau points, if you are unaware, you must reset lines and regrind those tech lines from start to finish. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, how much does it cost to get the Błyskawica 52? Well, if you're like me and you use your Elite Commander XP all the time and don't really have enough Elite Commander XP to throw at the event, and if you understand that premium days are worth a whole lot more to your grinding and you don't really want to waste them in a manner like this, that leaves you with two options: steel and Research Bureau points. Now, unless you are a madman and have no intentions to purchase like the Valparaiso or any of the new steel ships coming up in the Steel Fleet event, you will probably be left with Research Bureau points. So, in terms of Research Bureau points, it cost 120,000 Research Bureau points to get the Bliskovika 52. Now you might be thinking, well, that sounds like a lot. Yes, it is. It is a lot. If you're wondering, by the way, a standard Tier 9 Research Bureau ship cost a mere 43,000 Research Bureau points. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Bliskovika 52 is triple the price of a Tier 9 Research Bureau ship. Now, it is labeled as an epic ship. However, on Wargaming's chart, they don't have a price point for a Tier 9 epic Research Bureau ship. And, I mean, well, we don't really know what this is supposedly coming out for later, so we don't really know what the price point is supposed to be. But considering it takes, 4 or 5 reset to grind enough Research Bureau points to get a Tier 9 premium ship normally through the Research Bureau, so that's like, what, 12 to 16 times now in order to get the Bliskovika 52 from this event? So that's a little nuts. And keep in mind, too, there's not that huge of a price jump from the Tier 9 Research Bureau ships to the Tier 10 Research Bureau ships. It goes from 43,000 Research Bureau points to 62,000 Research Bureau points. So you're still well over double the price of a Tier 10 Research Bureau ship. So ships like the Ohio, Slava, Colbert. Yeah, that's quite the price jump from where it really should be. Now, while it's true you don't just get the Bliskovika 52 from the event if you do grind your way through it, you do also get the Bliskovika 44 and perma camos for both the Bliskovika and the Bliskovika 44 from the event as well. But I don't think, tossing in another Tier 8 premium ship and then still charging well in advance of triple the price of a Tier 9 Research Bureau ship is really worth it, right? And keep in mind, too, it's not just your Research Bureau points that you can use steel as well, which, if you're wondering, the price isn't that much better for steel anyway. I've got 28,000 and change worth of steel, so just under what it would take to get a Tier 10 steel ship. And it only takes my progress bar up to 37%. And you got to get to 85% for the Bliskovika 52. So we're talking, easily 60,000 change steel to get the Bliskovika 52. Which, again, most players aren't going to do because they're holding their steel for the Valparaiso anyway. Now, you might be wondering, well, Sealord, at least they're not offering an option for doubloons after cranking the price up this high. However, they kind of are. Because, if you are unaware, you can convert ship XP to free XP, and then use free XP to grind your way through those lines and get those Research Bureau points. Which is probably why there's no free XP option here, because of course free XP isn't overly hard to come by in today's World of Warships. Of course, again, more veteran players, they have, the good economic bonuses and stuff on standby for events such as this, or whenever they just need, a few million free XP. So naturally, that's not available. Outright doubloons aren't available, but you can surely convert that ship XP to free XP and then use that to get them Research Bureau points. Now, if you're wondering, normally a Research Bureau ship costs, again, depending upon what tier you're getting, but it's normally in the several $100 range if you are, just converting ship XP outright to get the full amount of Research Bureau points that you need in order to acquire the ship. And that's for, getting a normal Research Bureau ship. When we're talking about the Bliskovika 52, which is triple the price of a normal Tier 9 Research Bureau ship, we're probably going from like the $200 to $300-ish range to like the $500, $600, $700-ish range if you do want to convert that much free XP. Of course, it depends, upon how much ship XP you have, and then of course what other resources you're looking to exchange in addition to the Research Bureau points. But yeah, and of course, sure, you can sit here and freaking grind out, a line 16 friggin' times. You can reset your Harugamo a dozen plus times in order to grind out this many Research Bureau points for the Bliskovika 52. But of course, that is quite the task for one single ship. So, In my opinion, Wargaming, this is a little bit much. I know the Bishkevika 52 is labeled as an epic ship, and I know it looks pretty good on paper, but I mean, like, my God, man, this is... Yeah, that's a little much, Wargaming. At the bare minimum, I would have expected them to, you know, let us use coal to get like 30% of the way there like they do with the other resources. But for some reason, no, that's not an option. Credits, too, I forgot. Credits, you could use credits. And I believe the Kitakami event, I think even in the La Pampa event, you could use credits as well. But not here, because I guess credits are too easy to come by. Even though, you know, it's like the actual choke point for a lot of players is that their credit income. But, yeah, so I don't like this. This is a little bit much, Wargaming. Unfortunately, looks like I won't be getting the Bishkevika 52 because I do have plans for my steel. I don't really feel like regrinding Kitakami, you know, a dozen times. Not Kitakami, Harugamo a dozen times to get the Bishkevika 52, despite how good it may or may not be. So this does very much suck. So the event's, you know, salvage for victory. The whole idea, from my understanding, is that, you know, you can use your unused resources to get these ships and stuff, but it's like, who just has like research bureau points laying around? I mean, from like previous events and when they rarely get handed out, I've got like 12,000 research bureau points laying around, and you know, I play the game decently regularly, right? So that's just a little odd, you know, letting them be one of the resources you can throw 100% at the event. So yes, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on this event, guys. It's a little bit much, goofy, pretty, I wouldn't say predatory, but just pretty, yeah, it's just pretty big letdown in my opinion. You know, again, with so many of us just sitting on mountains of coal, it's like they've let it get too far kind of with the coal without releasing any new coal ships, right? So now there's tons of coal laying around in everybody's port that plays the game semi-regularly. So yeah, I have so much coal, I've stopped, like guys, I stopped taking coal containers for my daily containers. I just get the signal flags now because I use those way more than coal anyways nowadays. So yeah, I don't know if this is like them acknowledging that they've gotten, you know, they've let the coal get out of hand or something. I don't know, but yeah, I don't like it. So let me know what you guys think about the Salvage for Victory event for the Bishkevika 52 in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.